Sometimes great gameplay mechanics are all it takes to make a standard-sounding game concept stand out. That's certainly the case with Midway's latest, Psi-Ops: The Mindgate Conspiracy. At its heart, the game is a pretty basic third-person action shooter, but with the addition of psychic abilities and a rock-solid physics system, the game truly takes on a unique life of its own. In Psi-Ops, you play as Nick Scryer, a once powerful military commando set with the task of infiltrating a terrorist organization known as the Movement. To get past the Movement's psychics, Nick had his memory and his psi powers erased. Soon after you infiltrate a Movement base, things pick up and Nick slowly regains his psychic powers. You'll start out pretty weak and relying on the game's stealth mechanics, but you'll quickly learn the game's most versatile power, telekinesis. With this power, Nick can lift up objects or enemies and move them around with his mind. With this, Nick can build stacks of things he can climb, toss crates and barrels into enemies, throw enemies off of cliffs, or anything else that strikes your imagination to overcome obstacles or dispatch foes. Further along in the game, Nick gains the abilities of remote viewing, which allows Nick to see through walls and around corners. Mind Drain lets him extract psi energy from his foes. Mind Control lets you take over enemy soldiers and make them do silly things, and Pyrokinesis allows you to shoot fire out of your mind. However, time and time again, you'll find yourself coming back to telekinesis, partly because the game is structured around that ability, and partly because it's just so much fun to use. However, each ability certainly has its place, giving you a vast array of abilities to employ when tackling a problem. When pinned down by snipers, for example, the player has the choice of picking them out of the towers one by one using your powers of telekinesis, or you can just control one of them to make them pick off their own. While the AI powering Nick's foes is decent, the primary challenge in the game really stems from the large number of them that you'll be facing all at once. In general, this means you'll be making good use of cover while you put your psi powers to effective use. The boss fights in the game are mostly pattern-based, forcing you to take a little bit of time finding the weak spots before launching your attack. Good production values really round out the solid platform laid down by the gameplay in Psi-Ops. The game looks great graphically. The characters are lifelike, with minor facial exaggerations to keep them from looking too wooden when they're animated. As expected, the Xbox version of the game does look a bit more crisp and refined than its PS2 counterpart, though the PS2 version is certainly no slouch when compared to other titles on that platform. The soundscape is largely generated by good voice work from chatty foes, the loud clatter of gunfire, and some ambient music. All of it works quite well. Overall, Psi-Ops: The Mindgate Conspiracy is a great game. The solid mechanics keep the game fun and satisfying, even for a second playthrough of the game's 12 to 15 hour adventure. If you're on the hunt for a new action game, Psi-Ops should suit your needs quite well.